Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Saturday Quantum Field X39 training. And oh my gosh, are we going to have fun today? We actually have Kevin and Emily here, and they are off the chain excited and wonderful, wonderful people. So by the end of this call, you're going to know why I'm so excited. And of course, we have the infamous Steve and Gina Merritt, and I just want to take a second to thank them both. It is so fun to be working together again. We've done this before together. We work at the same pace together. We like each other. And so it's so fun to be in business again with them. And each one of you that's on this call with us is in business with all of us. So we're here to see you succeed. If you've got a second, what I tell you to do is get your cell phone out right now, text one more person, either somebody in your organization that's not currently on the call, or perhaps it's somebody that you prospected using the 331. There's nothing better than putting yourself on these calls and inviting your team and your people onto these calls. We're having an absolute blast. People are learning a ton. I've heard that the Quantum Field team in Portugal had an unbelievable live meeting today. They had way more people than they were expecting. It was off the chain as usual. So we are rocking and rolling. There's nothing like this amazing patch, the X39. So let me turn it over to Steve and Gina.
So, hey, we're excited. Happy Saturday, Quantum Field. We are just so blessed. And thank you, Onyx. We just feel so blessed that we are with you. We're on the same page. We're on the same rocket ship. And this is just amazing. We are seeing people that have never done networking like you in your past. They are just rocket shipping through the ranks and having a blast. The opportunity meetings all through the week are just phenomenal. The numbers are record numbers.
Yep. Yeah, you know what? I want to welcome everybody that's on here today. And you know what? Saturday is the key to getting your team on these trainings.
It's the glue.
I will say that whoever has the most people on today are going to see the biggest growth in the next couple weeks. So make sure your team is on here. Make sure you're setting goals to have your team on the Saturday training. That's the number one place you need to be as far as where your team needs to be is Saturday trainings. Then after that, get as many people as you can on the opportunity meetings that Gina was talking about throughout the week. And you should be setting goals, because what I love when Onyx told Gina and I that this company, she took it from 20 million to 280 million. And she did it with no meetings, only Zooms. Now, we love getting together, and we've got meetings coming up, as you can see, getting together. But I will say that it's very intriguing to me that you could have this kind of success and you don't have to get a babysitter. You don't have to drive across town. You don't have to come from another state. But you got to be on. It's just like in order for me to be a world champion, I had to show up for practice. Gina had to show up to work to keep her job. You know what? The key is if you're not there learning and having your team there.
Yeah.
You're not putting in that duplication effect. It's one thing if you're watching it in a replay or you're on here by yourself, but until you start understanding the power of duplication and putting them on these calls, that's where the rubber meets the road, and we're having a blast doing it.
And what he's saying is that, hey, if you want to have the results, the big long-term results, then you got to participate. You got to be in the rocket ship with your seatbelt buckled up, baby.
So we're on
your team is going to do what you all do. So if you're joining these calls, they're going to be joining these calls. If you're not joining these calls, they're not going to be joining these calls. And if you all aren't joining the calls, you're totally missing it, because we're here working this business each and every day with the people that are here working their business and joining the calls with us. So you want to be on these calls, and we're having a good time too.
Absolutely.
And I will say that
I don't call this work.
Sometimes I look and I see how in the world are we having this incredible success, both Onyx, Gina, myself, and the people that are winning, and the ones that are on the opportunity meetings.
I can tell you how we're having the results, because we're picking up our phone.
Yeah. But we're plugging the people in to these calls, and we're on them, because like Onyx said, you can't have anyone on if you're not on. They're going to know that you're not on, because they're going to text you and you're at the beach or something. You need to be on, make a commitment only for a season. Get on here for a season and build yourself a huge organization. Then you can do what you want, but you're probably going to want to keep coming on, because we're having So much
That's
fun.
right.
We're on a 90-day run to senior director.
Yes.
Why? Because we're having a huge get together at our house. There's still just under a month to get yourself to senior director and be in Palm Beach, Florida with David Schmidt, enjoying an incredible dinner and training and, you know, a great talk of inspiration.
That's
and
right.
what he did to get this company off the ground and rocket shipping toward $1 billion. First goal, get to manager. 30-day goal. I suggest there's people that can get this done over the weekend, people that have done it in a day. I know you could do it in a weekend. Why? Because of the momentum that Onyx was talking about that we're having is so great that the people that are coming on board are hitting ranks so much faster. Just 2 silvers right, 2 silvers left. You got to be a gold on 2 sleeve auto ship. They've got to be on at least 1 sleeve auto ship for you to qualify as manager. Yes, set it a 30-day goal, but I bet by the weekend, even if you set the goal to hit it in 30 days, you'll be a manager. 60-day goal is to go director. All that is if you thought manager was easy, 2 right, 2 left, what's a director? You just got to help 2 people, 1 on the right, 1 on the left, go manager. Yes, you do need 3 personals instead of just 2, but you're going to be on a roll. The person you spoke with the day before is going to be excited, or the week before. People are coming in because you're planting the seeds, but at least within a 60-day goal. I would set a goal that if you have just started today with the momentum we're happening, to set a goal to be senior director by the end of the next 3 weeks so that you can qualify for the party. Okay.
Absolutely.
And again, Gene and I, not knowing anything, ignorance on fire. I didn't know anything about a stem cell. Okay. We hit senior director within like 7 days. So we know you could do it. We picked up the phone, called every person, didn't even text them. We only spoke with them. And then went on to hit other levels, but our friends are doing follow in pursuit. 90-day goal is to get this senior director. What it is, it's just 2 of those directors in your business. They actually could be on the same leg, and that's your 90-day goal. But now, because we're ramping this up and we got the momentum happening, I think we broke like a half a dozen senior directors and above this past week.
Yeah.
So that's how fast this is going.
Amazing.
What's your main focus? And Kevin and Emily are going to talk about this today. 20 personals right, 20 personals left. Why do you want to do that in a binary? Because you want to set yourself up to win, and you don't want to push your goals on your friends. You want them to be hungry, ready, running with you to make it happen. And all you do is, with this X39 that Onyx is talking about, it is so easy to start a conversation. We're going to hear about that today. It is incredibly easy. And that's why I can look you in the eye and say, anyone on here that's serious about their family's future and they plug in and decide to go 20 right, 20 left, can do it at least in a 90-day period. And here's just some daily, weekly, monthly goals you can take a picture of for you to hit that goal. And the reason why we put a monthly goal is because sometimes during the week you're planting seeds, so the people from last week get in the next week, and you've got a whole monthly goal of getting those personals. Here's some of the meetings that we got laid out. We'll talk about these later after we're done with Kevin and Emily rocking this this afternoon. But Monday night, we've got Gina's sister and my brother-in-law, Jen's.
Yes.
Incredible entrepreneurs. They are rocking. They are going to tell you why this is the best business to be rocking in today's economy ever. And they've done all kinds of different businesses. Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, Friday at noon, which we had an incredible presentation by Jennifer Sage from Alabama,
Yes.
new senior director. She rocked it on Friday.
Yes, she did.
Thursday, we've got Spanish meetings leading by Mike and Sai Hernandez, and all the Spanish team are rocking it. Going into Mexico, where we're launching Mexico, it is wild what's happening. And then every Saturday, like we're having here today, make sure you're plugging in. That's the key to this, is just plugging in. We don't care if you have to wear your pajama bottoms and a nice shirt. Just be on the Zoom meetings that we're having, because you are going to be blessed yourself, because you hear different personalities teach you, and you might relate to somebody different than was on the day before. So we're excited. I can't wait. I got my notepad ready. I'm ready, fired up, and I'm excited about what's about to happen right now. Again, like Onyx said, text another friend, get them on here, because we're just getting started. This is going to be vital, vital information for you to win and get yourself to this senior director position.
So Onyx, you want to say anything before I intro them?
No, go ahead and intro. That's perfect. Sorry.
Okay, all right, guys. We have been watching not sitting watching our back office, because
when you log on, you see it.
Because Steve and I are workers.
Yeah.
We love this industry. We love this business, and we are obsessed with X39 and LifeWave. So we've been watching the board in the back, and it's like, Wilson, Wilson, Wilson. We're like, whoa, we got to hear what these guys are doing. So all the way from Oklahoma, help us welcome Kevin and Emily Wilson. Take it away, guys. We're so fired up and honored to have you guys on.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
And thank you for that. We love being here.
Thank you, thank you. Well, a couple of spoiler alerts. We're actually in Alabama, and Steve, not to contradict what you said, but we can build this from the beach. We put 4 in this week while we're here. You got to go to work. It's time to go build.
That's it.
That's right. That's the great thing about this business. Here you are with your kids on spring break. And what a blessing to be able to carry your laptop, your business with you, and your sleeve of patches. We love it. Yes, amazing, amazing. So I'm going to start this off today with the first question. And we'd like you to tell us a little bit about your family and the background about your careers.
Awesome. Absolutely. So I've been in the health industry for 28 years. We are true, like purveyors of health. We love people being healthy. We're not ever looking for a one size fits all or a one thing fix. Health is it's a lifestyle. It's a habit. I've been a personal trainer, a nutritionist, a life coach for 28 years. Kevin actually told me when I was in my 20s, are you sure you're a trainer or are you really like a psychologist? And the truth is, like, when you're dealing with people one-on-one on a daily basis, that's it. You get to know their lives. You get to know their stories. You get to know every little nook and cranny about them and what makes them tick and what helps them get healthier. So I can say, I love this industry. I love what it's done. One of the things that makes me so passionate about it is it's a continual growth pattern. We're always learning. We're always getting better. And it's like our own health. It kind of fits right in that as we age, like, things change, right? Women, things change, guys too. And we have to learn how to adapt and make changes for us. So finding the X39 patch has been awesome for us. We're in this industry, guys, because of our family. We had a dream when we were in our early 30s that we wanted to be, we knew we were going to be entrepreneurs, but we wanted to have the time freedom to be with our kids. We wanted Kevin to be able to coach sports as well as me. We wanted to be able to go on field trips with them and spend time with them and take them on vacations. We are definitely about making memories with our family and connections and real relationships, and not just buying a bunch of stuff for our kids.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit different of a pattern when it comes to the business side. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I was fortunate enough or possibly cursed, depending on whose opinion you want to ask, to have the opportunity with Emily's brothers to buy a company when I was very young. I was about 27 years old and had the opportunity to buy into my first company. And it comes with a lot of excitement, ideas of grandeur, and then the reality sets in with the work. And so we catapulted from one business and accelerated into another and into another. And at some point we'll be able to probably see the light from some of those businesses, but nothing like what we have with LifeWave and with X39. This industry is so much more dynamic than anything I've ever been a part of or been in charge of. It is really, really an amazing industry, and we love it for that standpoint.
Hey, we are just getting to know this life of an empty nester. We've got all 3 of our kids are in college right now, 23, 21, and 19. So we are actually on spring break by ourselves. Came to the beach with our new adopted dog that is our new child that gets to go everywhere with us. Really trying to have that emotional support of not having kids at home, but we're enjoying it. We're loving it, which gives us time, of course, to keep running with this business.
Hey, and that's what we love about what we're doing right now, because we're working with real people like Kevin and Emily that got families, that care about their family. They love people, and they're entrepreneurs, they're go-getters, and it's just exciting to have you guys on here today. I wanted to just hear a little bit, take you back, maybe when you heard about the X39, how you were approached, and what was your thinking? Like, Kevin, I know some of your thinking when you called me, so just kind of let me know what your thinking was, because everybody has a different thought pattern at first, and then maybe eventually then the light goes on. But tell us a little bit about how you approached and what was your mindset when you first heard about it.
Yeah, so I was contacted by both Mike Hernandez, and then David Warden reached out. And we've known each other through the industry. All of us actually have known each other in the industry for a period of time. And again, I respect those guys. Mike used one of the expressions that, again, I don't shy away from, but are you open to an opportunity? Which obviously I like looking at opportunities. Doesn't mean I'm willing to really dive into one. I have enough respect for him to at least look at it. And so, Steve, when he reached out, that was one of the reasons that I thought, well, we need to look at it. And then Dave and Heather Warden live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where Emily and I live. And so David reached out. He and I also have business that we do together. I'm in the mortgage industry and David's in the real estate industry as well. And so we had opportunity to do some other business. Anyways, when David reached out, said, I'm gonna bring some patches over. I want you to try this product. I was willing to look, one, because it was somebody I respected. I was willing to look at it from a second standpoint because I'm always interested in if an opportunity that one of my friends or my peers or my colleagues are interested in, is it something I should at least give a look at? And so, but in truth, the back of my mind is I really hoped it wasn't anything I'd be interested in. I really, really didn't want it to be something that worked, or really something that I would even have any interest in whatsoever. Everyone's busy. I look for busy people when I'm building. I'm really, really busy, and I don't use that as an excuse. So I still want it to look, but in my back of my mind, Steve, the whole time I'm like, dear Lord, I hope it is nothing that I want to do. And I really hope it doesn't work. And so David and Heather came over to the house on a Saturday. We sat down. Emily mentioned our new puppy. We had just received that puppy maybe that week, actually.
Yeah,
and
only a couple weeks.
so, and the Wardens and us have a little bit of a history when it comes to dogs. And so they wanted to come over and see the new puppy.
We're related.
Yeah, our dogs are related. And so they came over to see the new puppy and to bring some samples of the patch over. And again, I because we respect each other, I'm more than willing to do that, as friends do with each other. But when they left, I thought, well, I'll try the product, but I doubt it's going to work, and I hope it doesn't work. And dang, I hope it doesn't really work at all.
And the reality is we both put the patch on, and guess what?
It works. It works. Not only did it work, it worked so effectively for me that the response was Saturday at lunch, I put the patch on. Sunday, I had an injury. I actually had a pretty large injury. I had torn my right pectoral muscle in half. I had torn my rotator cuff in the right shoulder at the same time. I was 1 year post surgery from that reconstruction, but I'm not completely healed, obviously. My thinking was nothing to do with my chest and my shoulders. I think that's probably what David was considering originally when he was talking to me about it. But I also had a left hamstring pull, and it's probably from overexertion. When your wife's a trainer, she doesn't let you rest very much. And so, so my left hamstring was pretty well tweaked. I was in pretty bad shape. I was dragging my left leg around a little bit, maybe overusing it because I couldn't use my right arm like I like to. And so I put the patch on. I actually put it on my left hamstring on Saturday at noon. Sunday, this is the weekend before our children are all going to go off and we're officially empty nesters. So we're playing board games. We're going out and doing activities and doing stuff together, just enjoying our family being together. And one of the things we wanted to do was go play pickleball. And so we went out. I didn't think I was going to be able to play. That following Sunday, I played for 2 hours, ran around on the court, and got back to the house. And I was sitting, the kids were doing their thing, going to see friends, and Emily and I were sitting there, and I said, dang, I think the patch actually works. And Emily goes, are you kidding? You were limping yesterday. And I said, I know. I said, and it's not completely gone, but the pain level is so dramatically reduced, it's hard for me to describe. And that's when I sent you the message, Steve. I sent a text, and all the text simply said was, I think this patch actually works. So, reluctant, yes. Open, absolutely. And then from that point, that's when you have to start making the decisions about what this potentially holds for you, but more importantly, it holds for other people that you love around you.
Wow, that was good.
So you all were one patch wonders, Kevin. Wow.
I did.
Wow, that's so cool.
And I hadn't even heard that term, Onyx. It was interesting. So obviously brand new at that time, didn't even know what that meant. I thought that was the reaction everybody was supposed to have, right? And so, and then when we signed up, which that was on Sunday, we enrolled, the next week with David and Heather. and started our training, David and Heather getting us to get onto this website and get in the right places, and actually watched a video with you when you, Onyx, were talking about what was going on with some of your health with your gums and things. And I thought, well, I'd never considered long-term impacts of this product. How amazing is that?
Yeah.
I know. I've been using this amazing product longer than anyone else on this whole team. It's so cool. I finally get to be in front of Steve and Gina. Not for long, though. Which is good. So it sounds like you guys were really busy with your own businesses, with launching your children, etc. And even with all of that, when X39 showed up in your life, you all decided this is something you all wanted to build.
Absolutely. Most of us are busy. I don't talk to anyone that says they sit around and eat bonbons all day. I mean, the truth is that we've got kids, we've got jobs, we've got responsibilities out the wazoo. We've got to drive our kids places. We've got to get them to and from events. We are a society that overbooks, right? We have our days are filled completely. But the reality is, if you want something bad enough, you carve out time. I know for me, and we'll talk about this at some point today, I believe, but mindset is huge. I carve out time for my day for mindset. It's just something I do. It's a non-negotiable. If I'm on a trip, if I'm in a car, wherever we are, like, I start my day with that. But every part of building a business is going to have activities. I mean, I've got clients, that are like, Emily, I just cannot drink my water. You want me to drink so much water? I'm like, it is water. It's a just do it. It's a check mark item. It's not hard. Like, you just do it. Nike's been saying it awesome for years and years and years. Just do it. So we'll talk today about the activities of this business. They are just do it activities. It's a checklist that if we do it, we'll know the results. The results are proven if the activities are done.
So the next question, out of all your business experience, what would you say to someone looking at the network marketing industry specific to promoting X39 and the power of the duplication effect?
Yeah, I really.
This is a great question for us. We love this question.
I do. And I'm glad it's a nice way to phrase it too. So this industry lends itself into something that is unique by the standpoint of, again, I said I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've started or owned and been involved in ownership in 7 different companies in different market segments. All of them that share a couple of very, very common things, and all those outside of network marketing, those and what we would call traditional business. All of those share a very common set of things. And one of those is they both have customers and they both have employees, right? And business is a lot of fun, except for customers and employees, right? Those are where the problems derive. Because when you start talking about, I don't want to be negative here, but when you start talking about the nuances of a daily business, the things that make it work, and Steve, you've had your own business too, those elements, not the success that you may see or perceive that you're going to have in the future, but the daily grind comes down to some things that becomes your total responsibility. When something doesn't work, you have to take care of it if it's your business. If it's a startup, it's all the time. The expression of wearing many hats, my hats were so worn out, I couldn't even wear a hat anymore, right? So it's always a business there's business always has a need. And so I love the fact in this industry that there's somebody else that's going to take care of the research, going to take care of the design, the construction, the implementation, the marketing. They're going to take care of the payroll. They're going to take care of the shipping. They're going to take care of the warehouse. Anything to do with the business, with the exception of me being a messenger, because I can talk and I'm okay at doing it. I'm not great, but I'm okay at it. So if I don't have to do all the other stuff and it frees me, and somebody else is excellent at it, and that frees me up to go out and be a messenger just of what the product does, those testimonials, how it impacts my family, how it impacts my friends' families. What that does is it allows us to accelerate to the market because it's streamlined. I don't have to worry about calling the plumber because the toilet's broke in the guest facilities or some other version of something else. That's somebody else's responsibility. Matter of fact, they don't want me interacting with the business that way. They want me out there doing the business one-on-one with my friends and my colleagues, getting on our trainings, getting on our Zooms, and sharing our successes, because that's what this industry lends itself to. Why X39? To me, is inside of that model so much more dynamic than anything I've seen. Is its pure shareability. I mean, I have not seen a product that you can go and so effectively into the market. You can give a sampling of product to somebody, and like Onyx said, you'll have people like me that are going to be one patch wonders. You're going to have other people that are going to say, I need this for the long-term results and the health impacts. Thank you for the samples, but I need to order mine now so that before my samples run out, my product arrives. It is highly shareable, which makes it highly consumable. So when you're sharing the message, I don't even know the numbers. We're too new to have any parameters to tell you I understand what the analytics are of how many I share versus how many we can get to come join us in the opportunity, or how many have success beyond that. I can tell you lots and lots of people right now within the total quantum field team, and lots of people that we interact with are succeeding right now. Right. They're winning right now. And that success is evident, it's seen, and it's repeated. And I love that about the industry, but I specifically love that with what's going on with X39.
That's amazing. And that's a great thing. You know, a lot of times when people are asking or you're talking to a prospect, they want you to have an answer. So I would, if I'm anyone on here listening today, I'd go back and repeat when this goes on the replay. Listen to what Kevin said, because they want that type of answer. There ain't a person out there in America that doesn't want to have their own business, and they're searching and researching what is the best. That answer you just gave us was phenomenal. Now, you gave us some great information on the X39. Tell them a little bit from your experience in this industry and from a normal conventional business. Go back to that duplication effect because of that simplicity. And this is so similar to franchising, what that can offer you, to what Emily was saying earlier, that she wanted to have the freedom to enjoy her family. It's very difficult a lot of times when you're a business owner to have that kind of freedom, but with this, you can. Tell them a little bit why.
Hey, I'll start with this because when we, as entrepreneurs, we truly, like, we've been in business together for so many years. We truly know that, like, businesses take systems. We call every time something happened at our gym, at one of our gyms, like, it wasn't a problem. It was an opportunity for a standard operating procedure. It was an opportunity for a new SOP to be written. But we've always been the ones that are making those systems. We're the ones that are putting them in place. We're the ones that are building and creating those. So when we got involved in this industry 18 years ago, I'll kind of bash on us just a bit. We thought we had to create our own systems. We thought we had to come in and kind of carve out our own path on how to do this. And we did for a little bit with some success. But what we found is not everyone could repeat and regurgitate what we were saying. So we weren't using tools correctly when we started this industry. We weren't pointing to tools. We were pointing to, like, oh, like, my degree is in exercise physiology and I understand what blah, 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 blah is. And I'm going to spew all this information to people. And all they do is look at me and like, oh my gosh, like, I could never say all that. So with X39, what we love is we have learned over the years how to point to a tool, how to step back, and we're a messenger on a story. Like, we give our story, we have a patch, we share the patch. And we point people into the direction of the tools to get the information that they want. Sometimes, and I don't know about you guys, sometimes, like, we give people more information that they even want than they ever even wanted. So be smart with what you say a little, but show your passion and conviction towards it, and then point them in the direction. So having these systems already in place with X39 is fabulous. Having the Build 331 website that just teaches people exactly what they need to do. Having the startx39.com site, where if someone does want to know all the studies, which you're going to find people that want to know, like, point them there. Hey, I've learned over the years, I don't even want to know all that. Point them there. If I know, I say it. So I just try not to know all of it, right? But I know exactly where I can point people in the direction. So having those systems is a must, but you have to then learn how to follow the systems, which is what we try to now teach. We're not creating them. We try to teach people how to step into the system where they are, meet them where they are, and then grow as they're willing to grow.
Yeah, there's an expression, you don't bridle a running horse, right? So you want to let somebody who's excited be excited. But if every time they ask a question, you refer them to the source of the answer and not the answer, eventually they become accustomed to the idea that I'm going to go look there before they're going to go ask. And there's nothing wrong with asking, but if they have the resource and they go to the resource, it's easy to repeat and go back. And you asked about this specifically when it comes to the patch, the X39 and systemology. To me, and I said this before, it's very, very shareable as a product. It's extremely easy for us to go out and market this product by sharing it with people. There are, not to overcomplicate this, matter of fact, very, very simple version of this is, and this was in our pastor did this in a sermon, not this weekend, but last weekend, excuse me. And it so hit me that it was incredible. And it was 3 basic rules, and we know them and we hear them. Jim Rohn talked about them when he talked about the sowing and the reaping, but our pastor said, you reap what you sow. And so a lot of us get terribly confused and get concerned about, we call it paralysis from analysis, right? So our anxiety breeds more anxiety because we try and learn way too much, as opposed to looking for the resource or the tool to be the mechanism that accelerates us. And so what we reap what we sow is the idea that my job, Emily and I, are messengers, are solely a messenger. It's not mine how they receive the message. It's not even for me to say whether I delivered it correctly or not. I just repeat the process, that I am the messenger, and I'm going to go sow as much of these into the market as I can. I'm going to reap what I sow. So I'm going to put as much as I can out there. You want a big business? You need to sow lots of product into the market. You want to bless lots of people? You need to sow lots and lots into the market. The second rule that our pastor mentioned is you always reap more than you sow. Now, this is a really great thing, right? So in the Bible, it talks about 30%, 60%, and 100%, but we know this to be true in networking from a simple standpoint. If I put in somebody, their likelihood of blessing somebody else in a sphere of influence that I don't have, their own peers, their own family, it's completely different. And all of a sudden their team grows larger, which is a part of my team. I begin to reap more than I intentionally sowed the first time. We're blessing exponentially. The patch does that. One seed isn't one person. This is the ability to see many, many, many blessings come to lots and lots of people over and over. And then the third one is, he said, you always reap after you sow. So we have lots of people that'll say, how long will it take? Will I go from here to there, and how quickly? Again, until you've begun to sow, the answer of when should never enter your mind. You're the messenger, repeat and sow, repeat and sow, repeat and sow. Eventually, after you have sowed, you will reap, and the harvest will come. And then, so he gave those 3, and I've heard them. I can't tell you how many times I've heard them, but he gave them the other day, and it was so profound in my mind as to how this business works, because I keep telling everybody that comes to the team, anybody that'll listen, these are easy to share. These are easy to share. And it's not you're sharing it with one, you're sharing it with everybody they know and everybody they know. And then our pastor comes busting out with this amazing sermon, which hit me with some other ways as well. And I thought, there it is. That is exactly where it is. You reap what you sow, you reap more than you sow, and you reap after you sow. And this business is wrapped up perfectly in that.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So as I know you all are health fitness owners and health fitness career, have you ever experienced a product like X39 that has brought in so many life-changing testimonials?
Absolutely not.
No.
I mean, this is just crazy, you guys. We've gone from owning gyms. Right now, I'm just actually personal training one-on-one, back to my roots, which I really didn't think I'd ever go back to this, but I love being one-on-one with people. But the amount that I can impact them just by putting a patch on is crazy. I mean, I've had clients that I just had one that had a partial knee replacement. She was up and walking in 5 days, and came to work out 10 days after her surgery. She was supposed to not be going anywhere for at least a month or 2 months. And her doctor was like, I mean, if you feel up to it, go do it. I mean, and luckily, I mean, she's got that patch on and she's helping. I mean, it's helping her tremendous with that healing process. I've had a client that, and I'll tell you, and I'll kind of plug going into those meetings, the Zooms on Monday and Wednesday night, Thursday night in Spanish, and Friday at lunch, because the more we get our team members on those Zooms, they're hearing testimonies from people that they don't know, right? Like every week, we're doing such an amazing job as a Quantum Field team to put different testimonies out there. I had one of my clients text me, oh my gosh, I've been wearing the patch 4 months and I know it's helping my knee, but just last week I had some blood work done just on my follow-up appointment, or my yearly appointment, and I have been on the same thyroid medication for 20 years, and I'm hypothyroid. And all of a sudden, just this past week, my blood work flipped. I'm hyperthyroid. They've got to change all my medications. And she was like, I just heard someone talking about their thyroid health changing, and it like clued in that it's the patch doing it. She goes, I never would have thought that it was the patch. I thought the patch was helping my knee and that's what it was doing, but I never would have thought of other things. So when you hear testimonies from different people, we are all of our bodies work differently, guys. All of us are going to have different stories. We all need different things. That's why I love, like, in the industry that I'm in, every single person is different. It's not a one size fits all program for anybody, anywhere, no way. But you have to be able to recognize what the patch is doing. So the testimonies are crazy. I love them. And what I love most is they all come back like this. Like, well, I mean, yes, this was better, but surely it wasn't the patch, right? No, surely it is the patch. Recognize that you did one thing different and this is the change you saw. Direct correlation, it's the patch.
And actually, they usually go the other way because human nature is to be resistant. Much like me sending the text to Steve saying, I can't believe this works. There's people out there that Emily will share the product with, and then they'll say, well, I saved 2 patches and I didn't wear them for a while because I wanted to see if it came back. And sure enough, it didn't. I wore the patch and it stopped again. And so you're going to have that negative trial effect. We're all skeptics.
Yes, yes, yes. So would you agree stem cells is one of the hottest topics in wellness and the easiest startup conversation you've ever experienced in our industry?
I mean, absolutely. It's a buzzword. If you are out talking to anybody, I mean, especially like as we age, I'm getting ready to turn 52
tomorrow.
Yeah. Like as I'm around my peers, like our bodies are changing and none of us like it. We all want to stay active. We all want to stay doing what we've done our whole lives, but things hurt a little bit more. Joints hurt, pains hurt. And again, my clientele, I'm not saying this is, and this is great for our patch. Not everyone can go do this, but the amount of people that I know personally that have had stem cell injections, trying to hold back from doing hip replacements, trying to hold back from doing total knees. You know, they're doing anything they can on the front side and paying a ton of money. And the 3 people that I know that have had them have within the year gone ahead and had the surgery because the stem cell injections didn't do what they had hoped. Now, some people it does help, I'm sure, but I have 3 clients of mine that have had it done, that it didn't work. They had the surgery afterwards, and then they've got to go into 2-year-long rehab, and it changes their life dramatically. So the fact that people know stem cells and they know how expensive it is and how out of reach for most people it is, and yet we have a product that's changing these stem cells at a cost-effective way. Crazy, crazy, crazy awesome.
Well, and then you also start pulling in other people that have considered it, researched stem cell injections, knew that they were probably something available to them, but were unwilling to do it because they've heard of the failures, right? And so it's a fairly large bill to take on if the failure rate is quite as high. And so we know lots of people that say, well, yeah, I know what it is, but I just wasn't willing to go out there at this point because the success rate isn't high enough. If I knew I could spend the money and have exactly the result, I would go do it. And that bridge between why wouldn't you try this isn't even something we have to express to them. They express to us, right? And so with this product, you say stem cells, it brings in the people. They understand exactly what it is that you're talking about. It's not a lotion, a potion, a pill. It's not a protein shake, a CBD, right? It's something that is outside of the scope of what we would typically look at or have our friends talk to us about. And so we start to say, okay, well, this is unique. I know what stem cells are. I'm not willing to go spend the money just in case it doesn't work. But why in the world would I not try what Kevin and Emily are sharing with me right now? And that bridge, it brings it right together for us. And then that's when we start in about, sharing different tools with them so they can start to learn for themselves.
Hey, we know that you guys use the team product website. Emily spoke about it, right? Tell us how you use the startx39.com and what you'd say to someone you know pretty well, like someone just getting started. They got a phone full of people. What's a few key words, buzzwords, something you say that gets people attention, that you've seen all this success that Gina's like seeing lit up on the screen? Wilson, right?
Yeah. So I'm very much, I like to visit on the phone with people. So for me, I just find that to be a much more effective way. Now, Emily texts a little bit more, and I do use some texting to reach out to people. But when it's somebody that I know, and again, it's somebody I know well enough, right? So again, I pick the phone up and we get on that phone conversation. And sometimes that's even part of the obstacle, is just to get the time to get somebody on the phone, right? And so once I have them on the phone, I start talking about stem cell reactivation pretty darn quick. My verbiage on the front side is, and as easy as it may sound, or as weird as it may sound, you have to find your own words. But for me, I say something about, hey, I want to visit with you about something that's pretty incredible when it's about stem cell reactivation. But before we do, how the family, how the kids, what's your wife up to, those kind of things. Because again, we have a relationship already. Now, if it's somebody I see on a pretty frequent basis, I dive straight into, hey, I want to talk to you about something I've come in contact with, about stem cell reactivation, and it's unbelievable, the results. And I go straight from that level of understanding. And even on the other version where I say, we talk a little bit about our family lives and we bring them back in, there's great resources on the Build 331 and on how to interact with people. Because again, sometimes people get intimidated by the contact, right? How do I pick the phone up? What am I supposed to say? And again, that's fine. I would suggest too, make a mess of it, because it's easier to clean the mess up than not to do anything at all. Okay. So take action. Action beats inaction every single time, but pick the phone up and you get in that conversation. Stem cell reactivation is a key one that I use, Steve, when it comes. You said that to me, it resonated so heavily in my head that I regurgitated, right? Something that hit you when you were talking to anybody on the Zoom, something that was said to you is effective to somebody else. Okay. So again, you don't have to invent any of it. As Emily said, you want to mirror and replicate the success. Onyx has tremendous success. Utilize the tools, utilize the verbiage. When somebody speaks to you, whether it's the person that enrolled you or the Zoom they got you onto or the interaction on a phone call you had, use those words. Steve said stem cell reactivation, it's stuck. I've heard him say it dozens of times. I've heard Onyx and Gina say it dozens of times. It's stuck though, right? So that's one of the ones I go to and I use over and over and over. That wording alone usually opens up a pathway. Not usually, every time opens up a pathway with the people I have on the telephone about what do you mean? How does it work? And how does it work becomes the next set of questions. Right. And that's, by the way, is a setup for a trap. You have to avoid how does it work? Not because you don't know, not because it doesn't work, but because over the telephone, it's way too much for that individual to digest. You say that is a great question. It's the very first question I asked as well. I can tell you it does work, but I'm going to send you a link so you can go see a video and you can go read it and you can see it, because before I saw it and I knew it worked for me, I'm not sure I could have begun to understand it. That's me. Maybe you're smarter than me, but I wouldn't have been able to do it. Okay. So defuse the situation and push them back to where you want to take them to from the standpoint of the tools are amazing. Utilize the tools. So after I introduce the stem cell, yeah, go ahead.
So one thing that Kevin and I both like to do is that conversation or that connection that we have before we ever sit down with someone is important. And it's short and it just starts the conversation and it gets them interested. We then lead them to a video to watch so they have a little information. That way, guys, when I sit down and I go have coffee with my friends, again, Gina was saying like, this doesn't feel like work. Coffee with a friend does not feel like work to me. Like that's the joy of my day. That's when work is done. I get to go have coffees with my friends. And like y'all can see, I need coffee, right? Anyway, I go there. I go hang out at the coffee shops. But when I meet them, then they are already kind of chomping at the bit. When I'm holding the patches, they're kind of already like, well, do I get to try it? Do I get to try? Can I put one on now? So I'm not having to come like, oh, I have something I want for you. It's already preset. We've already framed it so that when we are meeting with them, they already know that that patch is coming their way. They already know that we're meeting there to get some samples of the patch. By the way, most of the people, by the time we're done talking with them, we do have 5 patches. It's what we do. We share 5 patches. We want them to have enough that they have several days, but we also give those extra couples because we want them to share a few with some people that they know. So we always do 5 patches. It also makes our math easy. 5 patches means I get 6 samples out of a sleeve. It makes life easy for us. But when I give them those patches, most of the time they're ready to sign up. Well, 5 patches may do good, but don't I need to wear this longer? Yes, absolutely. Like we talk about meeting the number of decades you are. That's how many months you are going to wear the patch to get maximum result. Well, then what? Am I going to stop wearing it? do you want to stop wearing it? And all the effects that you've had positive are going to go back the other way. But let's get you there first. Like, let's not think that far, but let's get you to commit to the number of months that you are decades old. So we usually place that order right then, and then they have the 5 patches that get them started before their order then arrives. So it just, again, if you frame it right and walk through the system, it's great.
Oh my gosh, this call has been incredible. I'm going to have to listen again and again and again. And one of the things I love that you just said, Kevin, is even though you know how the X39 works, you're leaning on the tools. And it's one of the things I do myself. Even though I'm 3.5 years in, I'm still not explaining to everybody how this works. Give me your cell phone number. I'll text you a link. And so that's a beautiful way. It's a beautiful bridge for me, whether they're a cold contact or a warm contact. So let me ask a question about new people in your business. How important is it for you to find out what they want to accomplish in business when they're just getting started?
I would say on the scale of 1 to 10, and 10 being the highest, it's 12.
Wow.
So the importance of knowing, because if you're talking about somebody new, and you got to break down the new people into basically a couple of categories, but in the simple terms, those that have been involved in the industry before and those that have never been in the industry before. It's a pretty easy way to look at it.
Which, by the way, we all at one point were not in the industry. Right. We were all beginners in this industry at one point. And sometimes that's hard for people to understand. Is there was the first phone call I ever made. There was the first person I ever sponsored. There was the first dollar I ever made in this industry. We all started somewhere in the very beginning.
Yeah. And when you're looking at those two categories of those that have and those that have never been in our industry before, you're going to look at those individuals and you're going to have those conversations. Those that have been in before sometimes are harder to get to use tools. They're harder to get to see the path. And they're even harder to say, now, why are you doing this? Because you know why? We think we all know it all, right? We're all know-it-alls. And we became masters of something long ago, and it makes us non-pliable, it makes us non-manageable, and it makes us difficult to learn. Now, again, that's me. Maybe you guys are different than that, but that was my experience. The newest person, Onyx, in the business or in the industry is on the other end of the spectrum. They tend to be more nervous and reserved to something that they're experienced for the first time. And that idea of making a call, or I don't want to talk to my friends. This is one of those deals where I got to talk to my friends, and all those kind of resistance of their ignorance of not understanding can be completely washed away by coming back to, why is this important for you to do? And is the product something that the success of this product for your own personal use, for those that you're blessing, your family, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, is that important to you? Okay, it is important to you. Great. Let's work first step on how we're going to bless those people closest to you with this product. All right, now, if you want to build a business, why is it you want to build a business? Because if you ask somebody if they wanted to make money, any sum of money, it's $1 million, it's $1 billion, it doesn't matter. Everybody is interested in it. Now, when you talk about the steps to do that, not everybody is committed to doing that. So you have to know why somebody is interested or what it is to get to their commitment level, whether they're new to the industry or not new to the industry. But when you take that newbie in there and you talk to them and say, hey, we want to go do these things. You want to have more time freedom. You're all so busy. We're all so tied up, and you want more time. You want to be able to go to the beach house and hang out and sign people into the business because you're impacting lives while you're getting sunburned, your nose and your ears are burned, and you want to go do that. How are we going to do that in our 9 to 5? How are we going to do that if we're so consumed with the softball schedule? And we're going to have to make maybe some moderate changes, but are you willing to give up a Zoom Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday? Are you willing to commit to a few minor changes? Because new money brings new problems. Okay, and that's not meant to be scary. New money brings new problems. Every time you start to earn something different than you did before, opportunities, because problems are really just opportunities, start to arise. Those opportunities are dictated by changes in our habits. Daily disciplines build those things going forward. So again, I look at all these new opportunities with new team members, somebody seasoned or not seasoned, as an opportunity for them to expand within our same framework to advance themselves. It's super easy to do. And I would tell you this, it's as simple as the Build 331 website, right? The steps are there. So when somebody new gets in, I focus in on one step. This is what we're going to do. And again, the why is super important. So we focus on that. And when they can resolve that to a certain degree, then we think about what the next step is. Okay. So they're going to start asking more on their own. As they start to learn, they're going to begin to want to learn more. But right now, I want them to understand why, because the why will drive them, will fuel them, it'll bring them back. And when they have the bad day and they reach to their upline and they say, and if you're brand new and you just put somebody else brand new in, and somebody comes to you and says, why did somebody respond this way, or why did this happen, and the why thing, the foundation of answering that comes back to the foundation of the tools, and it comes back to it. But the reconnection of that individual back into the business is why they committed to doing it in the first place. And it helps anchor them mentally and basically inside of their own heart, because they'll understand why. Because you're willing to do things different to achieve something different that you've never had if you know why you're doing it in the first place.
For sure.
Wow, wow, wow. When you enroll a new person, how important is it for you to set a goal with them and help them go manager?
You're good at this.
Yeah. So again, kind of correlating with health, we have to have goals. We have to have a direction that we're going. I like to tell people you can shoot, a gun or an arrow, but if you don't have a target that you're aiming at, it's kind of a pointless shoot, right? So we direct people on a path with goals. We use the dream first. We set the dream and the vision with people so that they know why they are doing this, just like Kevin said. And then we set specific goals along the way. The goals that we have set with Build 331, that manager in 30 days, director in 60, and so forth, down into 90 days, like those are awesome goals. But I still, as a leader in this industry, as a leader, someone that's interacted with people over years and years and years, I set the goal based on the person. So those are great foundations and parameters to look at. But sometimes I'm looking at someone that's got influence, direction, desire, like they want to go faster. So I set the goal based on the speed that I know that they can do it in. Likewise, if I have someone that's brand new and is scared to death to make one call and can't commit to a ton of time in this, or just, even once a week, I can spend 1 hour. Some people are that restricted, which is a little funny, but they watch Netflix for 5 hours a day. Anyway, those are the ones that I'm like, I do stretch that goal out a little further. I just set the goal based on what I know that they're willing to do, but I direct them in that path. Again, I want to meet people where they are and work with them where they are, but we all know faster is better. We all know the more you talk to people, the more that momentum gets up. And we use the momentum of the team a lot. Like, don't just look at us, look at what the whole team is doing. Look what everyone's doing, how many people are being put in this business day after day after day, and look at the rank advancements. Those are signs and true indicators that people are out there making this happen.
There's an expression that goes into a lot of businesses, but it's pretty simple, and it's money loves speed. And a lot of people haven't heard that before, but it's true. And we call that in networking, we call that momentum, right? So money loves speed. When you start to have people around you succeeding, they start winning, they start earning. When you have people that you place into the business and they start winning and they start earning, that's speed, right? And so money loves speed. And so not everything's about how much and how big, but if you're wanting more than you have, it's going to be more and it's going to go forward, right? So that's what the speed element gets into. And that's where success derives, right? Success comes from doing more than you did before, going further than you did the last time, and reaching higher than you've ever reached before. It's not plateaued and stays the same.
Wow, we got some incredible info there as far as everything that someone would need to get started. You guys have been sharing goal setting. I love the fact you start with the why. Then you're going to want to set the goal for every single rank as you go through it. Make sure you got a date for that goal and run as hard as you can. And a lot of times when you put a date, that puts everything in motion. Now it's got that sense of urgency to get it done. And many times you get it done sooner. It could be you have to reset it, but at least you've got a goal that you're shooting for. And with all the experience you guys had in business, it's amazing. Last question. We're going to talk a little bit about mindset. We talked about it earlier. Onyx has been building now promoting the X39 for 3 years. She's got the energy. She's focused. She's having a blast doing it. And I love her stamina. Gene and I have been promoting it for 8 months. Maybe we even heard last week or a couple of weeks ago with David Schmidt, how he took 10 years of research, $4.5 million, We want everyone. We don't want anyone to miss out of
That's right.
what this can happen for. We want to have everyone cross the finish line. In that case, some people need to have it to learn a little bit about the mindset, to have the stamina, the consistency for them to finish what they started. Can you give us a little bit, because you've done so many things and won big in your life, what people can be looking at, where they're at right now, and say, hey, I mean, seriously, with what you've said about how people are responding to this, the next 12 to 24 months is going to be wild for everyone that sets this time aside and shows up and plugs in to the 3-3-1 system in the events.
I think this answer goes directly to a person's character, right? So like, I want to be a person that's committed and loyal and passionate about changing people's health and changing people's health physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually. So that is like, that's what drives me every single day. Now, I know that I will get worn out at times. Most people don't know this on here. My mom just passed away about 2 months ago. I was for 3 months by her side every afternoon. It was a different weight on me than I have really ever had in my life, but it was also a joy that I got to be with her, and I had the time to spend with her and have awesome conversations with her. So I wouldn't take it back for anything. But when the season finished, and by the way, no, it doesn't just end, like the grief keeps going, but every day I'm a little bit stronger. Every day it helps me refocus. And also, like, those conversations give me perspective back into, my mom raised me to be someone of good character. My mom raised me to go for it, to do everything and not be pulled down by anybody else. My mom, I mean, I kind of put in my head the characteristics of my life and who I am based on how I was raised. And not everyone comes from that great, having parents that totally invest in you and dive into you like that. And I hope you do. But it's so important in moments like this in business to see what your character really is. People are going to say no to you. It's crazy to me that people think, oh my gosh, like the world is coming down. My best friend just said no to me. You are a messenger. You're giving someone the information and you let them absorb the information and do with it what they please. I have some of my best friends that are like, I could never do what you do. Well, your path is just a little different. You can still wear the patch. And by the way, they still become customers of the product because the product is amazing. I'm not asking everyone to go do Zooms and present and talk. But by the way, 18 years ago, when we started this industry, I hated talking in front of people. Like, it was my biggest fear in life. It was the last class I took in college was speech comm, because I did not like getting up and talking in front of people. It's a skill that you learn. It's a skill that develops. It depends on what's going in to you to do this. So when it comes to mindset and staying consistent, you have to dive into yourself. You have to stay in a learning mode. You have to stay in, like, where are you being lifted up? As I just said, kind of coming out of that funk from what I just went through, I'm used to doing business. Kevin and I are used to just doing business ourselves and moving forward. I reached out to Gina. I needed someone to kind of help pull me out of this. And I'm totally okay, like, seeking mentorship. I coach people for a living. I don't think we can all go through life without coaches. I don't think we can do our health without a coach that knows what they're doing. When we try to do it on our own, it gets messy. In business, we should all have mentors that are helping us, giving us the direct path that we should be going, giving us a little more information and a little more help to pull us through. So I seek mentorship. I put in listening good things. I wake up every morning. I said my non-negotiable is my mindset in the morning. I spend time with my scripture. I spend time in prayer. I spend time planning my day, which is huge. If you don't have a plan, you don't really have a purpose or a direction. So I plan my day, and I make sure, folks, that my plan for my day aligns with my goals that I'm trying to achieve. So my plan for my day is not make the bed, do the laundry, run the chores. Those are the extra things that we just doggone have to do in life. I make sure the actions of my day, my plan of my day, are how many people am I reaching out to? How many people am I following up with? How many people am I doing a Zoom for today? Like, those are the actions that are aligning with the goal that I have to reach the highest rank, to make time freedom for my family, to be able to travel the world with my kids as they grow and have their kids, to have a beach house that my family all comes to because they want to come be where we are, to be on the fun beach. Those are the things that are my passion. So you have to fill yourself up constantly, and you can't let the world pull you down. You just can't. Like, choose not to be offended. Choose not to listen to the negative stuff. Choose to walk away from people that are not interested in your success. Bye-bye. See you later. I don't have time for that. Stay focused on you, stay aligned with your actions, and move forward into your dreams, because you're the only one that has your dreams.
So here's the trick, in my opinion. There's not a trick. Actually, it's not a silver bullet. It's not the magic potion. You have to lead by example, right? So your daily activities, your disciplines aren't to go, as Gina said earlier on in our Zoom, and watch your back office. Your daily activities are the things that Emily just mentioned that Onyx built into the website. They're to go out and share the product. They're to go out and follow up on that product. And it's to get somebody engaged in a one-on-one, in a Zoom. It's to repeat that process. Years ago, somebody said, do you realize that you do the same? At the time, there were belly-to-belly meetings more than they were Zooms. Do you realize you do the same thing every single night of the week? And doesn't that get boring? And I said, there's something refreshing when you find out that you've got somebody else, their ability that they don't have to, their wife doesn't have to work anymore. Their kids got to go to private school. All those things fuel me to go do another meeting. They fuel me to share with one more person. They fuel me to make sure that it's not just us that become blessed, but we get to be blessings to somebody else. So one, you have to lead by doing, not by watching. You got to be out in front. The speed of what's happening within your organization, whether it's an organization of one or of many, is based on what you have done today. Do it every day. Don't fail. The winning and succeeding in all business is not made up in getting the Golden Eagle Award. It's not made up in getting the highest pin. It's not made in getting the highest income. It's based on doing the daily disciplines. You will rest better at night knowing that you did exactly as you intended to do. Now, here's the trick. Daily activities. On your daily activities, if there's 5 to be done in a day and you only did 2, you lost that day. But there's 7 days in the week. If you win more days in a week than you lost, then you had a winning week. And if you win more weeks in a month, then you had a winning month. And then you have a winning year when you repeat that formula. So those patterns of success are based on your leadership, going and doing, not watching. And this business is a time compression. I saw this taught one time, and again, it was another one of those things that rattled around the side of my head and I couldn't get out. Now, the average American makes about $50,000 a year. So some less when you start work, some more when you're closer to retirement age, but the lifetime income is about $50,000 per year. Again, if you take 40 years of work, say you work from 25 to 65, that's a $2 million earnings over the course of your life, okay? That's okay if that's your objective. I'm not judging, but if you want more, what if you had an ability by doing those daily activities, repeating those things consistently and persistently, that you could compress time. You could earn that same $2 million. Instead of in 40, could you earn it in 30? Instead of 30, could you earn it in 10, right? If you can compress time, does that mean if after 10 years you've made 2 million, you stop working? Probably not, because you've now learned a formula to be able to replicate that so that maybe over the course of 40, you earn 20, 30, $40,000 million, excuse me. So again, this is a compression of time based on what you do now. The adage of when's the best time to plant a tree, it was 20 years ago or today. Today, start right now. If you haven't done your activities, get off the Zoom, say, I don't know if they knew anything they said, if it was even relevant, but I do know that today I'm going to do something that I did different than I did yesterday, so I can have something different in the future that I haven't had before. Start for yourself, start for your spouse, your family, pull you forward by taking the first step yourself. Again, messy work is better than no work. Go to work.
Yeah, good. Excellent.
Oh my gosh, was that amazing? How soon could we have them back on? Oh my gosh,
Wow.
it's already 2:00. Wow, wow, wow. And I love the last answer even. It was absolutely amazing. And I read a stat the other day, 75,000 people earn $100,000 or more in network marketing. 75,000 people. Can you be one of them? Yes. Can I be one of them? Yes. Can Stephen G. be one of them? Yes. All of us can be one of them. And the cool thing about network marketing that I learned is that in traditional business, people don't normally share their success secrets. We're sharing all of our secrets. That's the beautiful thing about these Saturdays calls, is we have different people coming on sharing their secrets, because there's something great in everyone in this organization, whether you just started today or whether you've been here for 3.5 years, you know, along with me, which is fabulous. Everybody's got something to give. Wow, was that amazing?
Guys, we so appreciate you coming on, and
Yes.
guaranteed there was hundreds and hundreds of people today that were blessed
Oh,
from
we had almost 500 on the call. Plus,
Wow.
I think we have about 100 on the YouTube live. So
Guys, remember all the things that Kevin and Emily said. We've got coming up this week. You get to plug your people in. Not that you have to, you get to, you want to. It's exciting. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Make sure you have a picture of this. It's all English. On Thursday is Spanish, and Saturday next week. Here's where we're at, where you can plug people in. A couple highlights. They spoke about the Build 331. They spoke about the Start X39.com, our team product website. But make sure that you plug your friends into, and your team member, into the Facebook page, Quantum Field X39 Team Facebook. That's where you get all the updates. You get to see all the people that are ranking, and it is exploding. You can't type fast enough. And to get your replays, all replays are at Onyx Cole's Network Marketing YouTube. Just go to YouTube, Google her, or search her, Onyx Cole Network Marketing. Some of them come up right away. Some of them take a little bit longer, but they will come up. In the meantime, use the win from the week before or the session before, because they're all amazing. Here's the website for the team. Here's the Build 331 that we spoke about. They talked about. It's got everything on there. By the way, the presentations we do on Monday and Wednesday and Friday can download at step number 5 if you need them. The next meeting is Gina's sister, my brother-in-law Jens, is going to be on Monday night. It's going to be incredible. These guys just hit the second highest rank in the company. Second highest rank, presidential directors. They are going to tear it up. And they're like Kevin and Emily as far as entrepreneurs. They are one of the sharpest business people you'll ever meet, and they're rocking the X39. So we want to encourage you to be on there with people. Remember, set a goal. How many people are you going to have on? You don't have to show up as far as driving to a meeting. Yep. You have to have the same mindset. How many rows of people are you going to have? How many did you have on here as far as that 500 people today? The next big event, live event, that we are going to broadcast on Zoom is going to be in West Palm Beach next Wednesday. We're expecting a huge crowd, so get there early. People be flying in again like they always do, because they want to get around this energy, excitement, and the belief that's happening right down here in South Florida. If you haven't hit senior director, we are confident that if you implement what you were taught today and you put a sense of urgency behind it, you can hit it. You could do it. We believe in every one of you. And by the way, if you get halfway there because you set the goal, you're still right there, like Kevin and Emily are talking about, and you get to shake hands with David Schmidt, take a photo, listen to his special talk just for the senior directors that are going to be at our house on April 15th. You've got till the 14th to make it happen, and you can do it.
If you make it on the 15th, you're coming. Come on.
And mark your calendars. We're going to be on the road in Hilton Head, South Carolina on April 4th, Jacksonville on the 5th, Orlando on the 6th. You can get all these details on the Quantum Field X39 Facebook page, where we'll get your information on that. Again, here's all the meetings that are coming up next week and every week.
So, hey guys, absolutely incredible. This is recorded. This is going to be a tool to reuse and use and use and use. Absolutely incredible. You guys both hit a home run. Yeah. The information was, this was free, you guys. This is so valuable. Yeah. If you can just get the concept that you just direct your people here and they're on a safe train to get to the finish line. The exciting thing is that, guys, all of these opportunity meetings are a safe place. They're safe for you to send your people. Whoever you send, they will be sponsored underneath you. It's a great place. We're excited to get everybody to the finish line. And this is so amazing. Thank you so much for being a blessing. Get your sunscreen on before you get out there again. Have a good time. And thank you for being such a blessing.
Enjoy your spring break. Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Thank you, Lonnie, for working the back office for us today. You're a blessing. Thank you, Onyx. And guys, hey, remember, your business doesn't end till Sunday night at midnight.
Starts over again.
So keep pushing. Keep pushing. Exactly what they said. God bless you guys. And we'll see you Monday night at 8 p.m. with Cindy and Jens Brennison. God bless you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.